Summer weather has finally arrived as we bring you to Capco Park here on the shores of Lake Michigan in Mequon, Wisconsin. Game one of at least 10 over the next 3+ days for the 2022 NACC Baseball Tournament. Third-seeded MSOE, the Raiders take on the sixth-seeded Concordia University Chicago Cougars. Welcome to our Game 1 broadcast. My name is Matt Menzel. Concordia Chicago backing the way into the NACC tournament with a couple of thrilling victories on Monday as Concordia Chicago in come-from-behind fashion, knocking off Marion in Game 1 11-10 before taking Game 2 as well by a 9-5 score. And Concordia Chicago now with 19 victories and 19 defeats overall after finishing 12-12. That in conference play, and looking at the final NACC regular season conference standings by virtue of the tiebreaker, Concordia Chicago, the number 6 seed, but finishing tied for 5th with both Edgewood and Concordia, Wisconsin. Concordia, Wisconsin, the one school of the three that was left out in the tie-breaking procedures. So the Cougars are here, having won 2 straight, 4 of 5, and 8 of 10. As for the MSOE Raiders, they are coming off a couple of convincing victories this past weekend in knocking off St. Norbert on Saturday, winning Game 1 21-3, winning Game 2 14-2. Raiders now with 23 victories and 16 defeats overall, finishing with 18 victories and 6 defeats in conference play. Good for third place among 13 after being predicted to finish in 5th. Raiders have won 3 straight and 6 of their previous 7. Pitching matchup here in this first NACC tournament game, double elimination format. We'll see Nolan Vincent on the hill for MSOE, and Jack Rector is on the hill for Concordia Chicago. And being the higher seed, MSOE will be considered the home team in this first game, and the winner of this matchup is moving on, and we'll play a little bit later on during the night session here from Capco Park. Before we check out the lineups, our national anthem, To Honor America. Our national anthem, To Honor America, as we check out the batting order for the 6th-seeded Concordia Chicago Cougars. Leading things off and playing center field is Eli Hickman. You have Aiden Donovan in left field batting second, and Michael Zavoli, he is catching, hitting third. Gary Maynard in right field bats cleanup with Brody Mariotti at first base batting 5th. Kevin Garcia is the designated hitter, he is batting 6th. Matthew Uba, the shortstop, hits 7th. Batting 8th at third base, Caleb Anderson, and Christian Jacob at second base hits 9th. Once again, for third-year Concordia Chicago head coach Colin Connor, it is Hickman, Donovan, and Zavoli, Maynard, Mariotti, and Garcia, Uba, Anderson, and Jacob. On the mound for MSOE, Nolan Vincent. He is 6'1", 215, a sophomore right-hander from nearby Germantown, Wisconsin. Vincent, 5 victories and a couple of defeats. A team best 1.87 ERA, this being his 13th appearance, 7th start. He has 3 complete games, a shutout, and a save on his stat line. He has thrown 67 in the 3rd innings, having allowed 22 runs, 14 earned on 52 hits, 54 strikeouts, only 11 walks, with an opposing batting average of 200. And he has pitched for the first time since pitching a complete game. Game 2 against Marion up in Fond du Lac. That was on Friday. In fact, his last 2 outings, he has gone the distance. 3 out of the last 4, he has gone all 9. We are ready to go here on this Thursday morning. Happy to have you with us. And the first pitch, a minute early at 9:59, with a game time temperature of 72 degrees. That wind at about 10 miles per hour blowing off the lake. Hopefully that will not be a factor when it comes to fog that right now is sitting over Lake Michigan. Fog is just kind of there, teasing us, but what a gorgeous start to this Thursday with summer-like weather. Well, stoppage here is home plate umpire Justin Fahey. Well, Fahey behind the dish with Chad Ozzie on the first base side and Scott Titterington on the third base side, the umpires for this NACC tournament contest. Down the left field line, and the catch hauled in by Blake Hall and Eli Hickman. The gained first downs. Defensively for MSOE, they committed 68 errors in their first 39 games, 95 fielding percentage. Blake Hall along with Brandon Beauchamp and Kyle Lebeds, the outfield from left to right. Micah Overly, Josh Byer, Luke Schroffnagel, and Chris Barnes, the infield from third to first. Nathan Kennedy is catching. Strike 1 here to Aiden Donovan, the Concordia Chicago left fielder. In his sophomore year from California. Taking a ball down low, and the count is even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Concordia Chicago, no stranger to having success here at Capco Park. In fact, playing their 5th game already this season here in Mequon after playing a doubleheader here against Concordia, Wisconsin, but also a doubleheader that was moved here earlier this season against Wisconsin Lutheran. Going 1-1 in both of those doubleheaders. The count goes to a ball and a couple of strikes. But they have won 6 NACC tournament championships, tied for most with Aurora, and 5 of those have come right here at Capco Park. Sent out of play. Count stays 1-2. Capco Park hosting this event every year since 2013. So a 9th time, including last year, hosting the North Division portion of the NACC baseball tournament. Missed a little bit high, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Aiden Donovan coming in with a batting average of .298. Concordia Chicago as a whole dead last in the league with a .272 batting average. Wouldn't know it the way they've been swinging the bats lately. That's out of play. Count stays 2-2. Had to work their way into qualifying for this tournament, as mentioned. Had to beat Marion. Even a split would have benefited Concordia, Wisconsin. They will come back not once but a couple of times. And what a first game against Marion in that doubleheader on Monday. End up winning 11-10. Down 6-0, down 8-1. Tied the game in the 9th inning. It was a home run that was hit by then at DH Colton Walls, who wasn't even in the starting lineup originally, eventually subbed in. That's a ball high and away, and the count runs full. But he was able to tie the game at 8 in the 9th inning with a home run off a 1-1 pitch with 2 outs. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Donovan. And the pitch from Vincent hit the second. Schroffnagel on the putout. 2 up and 2 down. So MSOE was able to get the first couple of outs, but Concordia Chicago was able to, again, in that matchup against Marion on Monday, able to force extras. In the 11th, Marion was able to take a 10-8 lead, and again, Concordia Chicago to response. They scored twice in the bottom of the 11th to force a 12th inning and eventually walked it off when Brody Mariotti had a walk-off single on a 1-2 pitch with 1 out in the 12th. Mariotti also with the 2-run home run in the 11th, tied the game at 10. That's how the Cougars won the first game. And then game 2, they were down 3-0, up 4-3, tied at 4, down 5-4, and erupted with a 5 spot in the bottom of the 8th to secure their spot in the tourney. To first, and Michael Zavoli is put out 3-1. Concordia Chicago retired 1-2-3. Middle of 1, MSOE is coming up. Here, 1 victory and 1 defeat, a team best 3.05 ERA. This being his 10th appearance, 9th start. 38 and a third innings pitch, having allowed 14 runs, 13 earned, 34 hits, 40 strikeouts, 26 walks, with an opposing batting average of .234. MSOE ranked 8th regionally as of May 1st. And they've won 3 straight, 6 of 7. Right now, 7 games above 500. Brandon Bolshaw leads things off and fouls it out of play. Falls behind 0-1. Raiders number 2 in the conference has a team hitting .308. Bolshaw, 5th in the league, hitting .384. This now being his 38th game and starts. A ball high, and the count is even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Just announced as of 8 minutes ago, he was named a first-team all-conference honoree. The all-NACC teams announced at about 10 o'clock this morning. We'll pass those names and honors along to you as we go along throughout this opening day of the NACC baseball tournament. 2 balls, 1 strike. Lifted out of play, and the count even at 2-2. Benedictine has just arrived Eagles taking to the game action. They will be involved in our third game of the day at 4 p.m. If MSOE wins, it will be a Raiders-Eagles matchup. However, if Concordia Chicago wins, they will play Aurora in the day one nightcap. Count runs full at 3 balls and 2 strikes on the MSOE center fielder. Riding a 13-game hitting streak. Bolshaw, incoming, Donovan. He'll make the catch. 1 up and 1 down. Defensively for Concordia Chicago, Aiden Donovan, Eli Hickman, and you have Gary Maynard, the outfield from left to right. Caleb Anderson, Matthew Uba, Christian Jacob, and Brody Mariotti, the infield from third to first, and Michael Zavoli catching. So 1 up and 1 down for Chris Barnes, the MSOE first baseman. Inside for a ball. Barnes with hits over his last 6 games. Not only has he been able to get on base, but he's come around to score as well. 7 runs he has scored over the last now 3. All wins for MSOE after they split with Marion Friday. Mentioned the sweep of St. Norbert Saturday. A combined 35 runs, 20 on hits, only a couple of errors in those 2 victories from MSOE Raiders Stadium in Glendale. 3 balls, no strikes to Barnes. He takes a strike and the count goes to 3-1. Micah Overly in the on-deck circle. Barnes along with Overly, both all NACC second teamers. Good bounce back here from Jack Rector, and the count is full at 3 balls, 2 strikes. Second consecutive batter he has gone full with as he pitches for the first time since lasting 5 at Dominican this past weekend. That was on Saturday. On the outside for a called strike 3. 3 consecutive strikes after falling behind 3 balls to no strikes, and Rector records the strikeout.
Next up to the plate, number 28, Micah Overly.
2 up and 2 down. Rector's high for strikeouts is 6, done a couple of times, including Saturday at Dominican. Also with a handful of 5 strikeout performances, about the average. About the average for the southpaw. Here's Micah Overly taking strike 1. Rector starting to feel it now, getting the rhythm. That's 4 consecutive strikes. Overly tops of the team, 4th in the conference, hitting .396. 61 to 154 with 5 home runs and 33 RBIs with a base hit to right field. That gets by the diving Brody Mariotti. And a 2-out single for Overly will extend this bottom of the first. Micah Overly now with hits in each of his last 6 consecutive games. Every one of the previous 5 have been multi-hit performances. 1 on with 2 outs for Colin Truitt. He is the MSOE DH. Hitting .320. Swing and a miss. Overly over at first base. Not overly aggressive. In fact, he is 0 for 2 on stolen bases. MSOE middle of the pack when it comes to steals, but also middle of the pack when it comes to caught stealing. Throw to first, and Overly back in plenty of time. Raiders are 43 of 57 in the stolen base department. One and 1 the count. Swing and a miss. Count goes to 1 and 2. You can see in your screen the fog Not thick, but it is certainly among us here at Capco Park. And in all likelihood, with the wind blowing off the lake, it's going to be with us throughout the course, at least of today and perhaps all weekend. It's that time of year, that transitional time where it's starting to heat up. That coupled with the water temperature. 2 balls, 2 strikes with Truitt. No score here in the bottom of the first. Inside nearly grazed the jersey of Truitt. Count runs full of 3 balls and 2 strikes. Raiders back in the NACC tournament 5th time. Part of that North Division Tournament Championship last year in which they fell against Concordia, Wisconsin. Runner goes. Half swing, did he offer? Yes, he did. And a strikeout of Truitt off the appeal to the first base umpire, Chad Ozzie. So a couple of Ks for Jack Rector. Overly stranded over at first base. We're through 1. No score at top number 2. First of 4 here on day 1 of the 2022 NACC Baseball Tournament. Our second game at approximately 1 p.m. will feature the 4th-seeded Green Knights of St. Norbert and the 5th-seeded Edgewood College Eagles. Number of surprises as far as if you put a lot of stock into preseason polls, and I know a lot of those polls are based on last year's or the previous season's happenings. But some surprises certainly from what was expected and what has played out. Foul ball here by Gary Maynard, the Concordia Chicago right fielder. This Concordia Chicago team, if you base it on preseason poll, a surprise. They were predicted 8th, and here they are among the 6 to qualify for the tourney. St. Norbert, Edgewood also among teams are expected to be on the outside looking in. Edgewood may be the biggest surprise. They were predicted 11th. To 3rd, Overly, one hopper to 1st in time. And Maynard, a 5-3 putout.
Now batting, number 8, Brody Mariotti.
4 up and 4 down against Nolan Vincent. Brings up the first baseman, Brody Mariotti. What a series against Marion. He's one of the big reasons why Concordia Chicago is in this spot today. Against the Sabres, he went 6 for 12 with 3 runs. He had 3 home runs and 8 RBIs. He had a 2 home run game in Game 2 against the Sabres. Also had a 2 home run game earlier this season at Rockford. That was back on May 1st. A couple of long balls out of Rivets Stadium. Behind no balls and 2 strikes. Strikes out. Chase the high heat. First strikeout of the day for Vincent. 2 down.
Now batting number 21.
High for strikeouts in the game this season for Nolan Vincent is 10. That came against the Oshkosh Titans back on March 20th. Only a couple of Ks against Marion on Friday after recording 9 strikeouts the outing before that against Dominican. First pitch strike to Kevin Garcia, the Concordia Chicago DH. So far this season, Garcia batting .287. He has 5 home runs. In fact, he had a stretch in which he had home runs in 4 consecutive games between April 20th and the 24th. One of those home runs hit here against Concordia, Wisconsin. Hits the ball sharply to second. And the 4-3 put out from Schroffnagel. Another 1-2-3 second for Nolan Vincent and company. Middle of 2, no score.
Now up to bat, number 26, Blake Hall.
Bottom of the second with no score, Concordia Chicago and MSOE from Mequon, Wisconsin. Up first for MSOE here in the second, Blake Hall, followed by Kyle Lebeds and Luke Schroffnagel. And Blake Hall sends the first pitch he sees off the netting of the backstop. Since 2008, this being the 32nd meeting between MSOE and Concordia Chicago, and MSOE bested the Cougars twice this season. Back on April 3rd, MSOE hosted the doubleheader. It was the first time, at least on record, that MSOE has swept Concordia Chicago in a doubleheader. And in fact, when they won Game 1, they snapped a 12-game skid against the Cougars. First win over Concordia Chicago since April 3rd of 2016. Bouncer to first. Mariotti. Great speed there by Blake Hall, too, and that ball had very little speed in its path to first. Infield single for the MSOE left fielder.
Now batting, number 4, Kyle Lebeds.
But Concordia Chicago leads the series history with 27 victories to 4 defeats. These teams are meeting for the 4th time in a NACC tournament here at Capco Park. Concordia Chicago's won the previous 3. Here's Kyle Lebeds, runner goes. That's skipped en route to the plate after a bunt being shown by Lebeds, and a steal a second for Blake Hall. That pitch one-hopped en route to Zavoli. And so Blake Hall with his 8th stolen base in 8 tries this season, the 8 successful steals, second best on the team. Corner infield is in for the Cougars. On the sacrifice, that's a beauty. Gets away from Rector after the third baseman. Caleb Anderson went back to play the base. Put Rector in a tough spot. It's a bunt single for Kyle Lebeds. I think Jack Rector initially thought that the third baseman was playing up. Caleb Anderson was going to play the ball. He instead backpedaled to cover the third base bag. And then Rector had to quickly scurry after, and that ball had some zip on it after it flung off Labed's bat. Runners at the corner with nobody out. And it brings up Luke Schroffnagel. Now back on April 3rd, game 1, MSOE won 6-5 after they fell behind 2-0 at a 5 spot in the bottom of the 5th that eventually proved to be the difference. And then in game 2, it was an 8-3 Raiders win. They erupted for 5 in the bottom of the 1st to take control and never look back. And back to first base, Labeds. Here in the NACC tournament, they met twice in 2016, a couple of Cougar wins, 10-0, 5-1. And they met here back in 2018. That was a 13-3 Concordia Chicago win. In fact, it was 4 years ago tomorrow. We've been told to expect this, that Concordia Chicago has a knack for throwing the ball the first and trying to keep runners close, regardless of their stolen base numbers. Big swing and a miss there by Schroffnagel, and certainly trying to keep Labeds close to that first base bag. Labeds came in 7 of 10 in steals, came in tied for second on the team in the stolen base department. Now he's third after that latest steal by Blake Hall. Nearly clipping the cleat of Schroffnagel. Luke playing for only the 14th time this season, only making his 5th start. Hitting .250, is 2 for 8 at the plate with 1 RBI. And again, a lollipop throw to first. MSOE looking to strike first. 2 on with nobody out. Home half of the second. Runner goes. Throw up the middle. It's going to be played by the second baseman, Christian Jacob, and a steal, a second for Labeds. Second and third, nobody out. When you look at the breakdown for runs by inning for MSOE, the team's had a lot of success scoring early against opponents. It's a short, deep in the 6-hole. Uba, long, strong throw is going to one-hop to first, and safe is Schroffnagel. RBI infield single. Blake Hall touching home. 1-0 MSOE.
Now batting, number 21, Nathan Kennedy.
All 3 hits so far in this second have stayed in the infield for MSOE. Staying put at second base, Labeds. And now Nathan Kennedy with the corner infield playing up for the Cougars. On the bunt, pop up and into the stands. Kennedy hitting .205. 17 of 83 with 10 runs batted in. But in talking about MSOE's success scoring early in games, throughout the course of their first 39, the most runs they've scored total with all those games combined in an inning is 48. And they've done that in the first and third innings of games. They've been outscored 37-34 in the second innings of their first 39. But again, point is, when you look at their numbers, the bulk of their damage has been done in the first third of their ball games. Off the bunt. There from Rector over, covering the first base bag was Jacob. A sacrifice bunt. 1-4 on the putout. And with 1 down, Bed's 90 feet away. Schroffnagel now at second, and Josh Beyer, the hitter. Beyer hitting .220. He has recorded hits in 22 out of the 38 games he has appeared in. Looking for a multi-RBI performance for the 6th time. And he takes ball one. He's got Lebeds at third, Schroffnagel at second after 3 consecutive infield hits for MSOE. Raiders have a 1-0 advantage. Beyer lifts it out of play. Out of the count finds at Capco Park. Count even at 1-1 Besides coming in with the second best team batting average in the conference, MSOE, number 2 in the NACC in runs scored, number 2 in the NACC in hits, second extra base hits. Down the right field line, and a foul ball. Second in doubles, first in triples, fourth in home runs. I'll bring up some of those power numbers and rankings because Capco Park is certainly built for extra base hits. Field dimensions here. 317 down the left field line. 344 in the left center field gap. 404 to straightaway center, and then 319 down the right field line. Designed with triples in mind. Couple of balls, couple of strikes. Hall of Famer, Milwaukee Brewer great Robin Yount helped design the ballpark, and he was certainly one to benefit with extra base hits throughout his 2-2. Beyer, another foul ball. Great battle here. Raiders certainly make Jack Rector work after he faced just 4 in the first, which included a couple of strikeouts. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. It was tipped into the glove of Zavoli, who hangs on. And strikeout number 3 for Rector. 2 down and back to the top of the order, and Brandon Beauchamp. He would fly out to left for the first out in the first. The former Nina Rocket. Can look to extend that hitting streak. Been quite the impressive hitting streak, too, over the last now 13 games. In that time, 12 extra base hits, 3 home runs. One of the big games during the streak came at Lakeland back on May 1st. Game 2, he went 3 for 5, scored 3 times, had a home run with 5 RBIs and a double. As MSOE would go on and sweep the Muskies with a 2-0 and a 19-8 final. That's part of the stretch that sees wins in 6 of their previous 7. It's 0-2. One run in so far thanks to an RBI infield single from Luke Schroffnagel, scoring Blake Hall. After the first 3 able to reach, thanks to infield hits, and then a sacrifice bunt has moved the latest runners over. Off the end of the bat and out of play. Count stays 0-2. Just over 31 pitches thrown by Jack Rector thus far. Looking for his 4th strikeout. Going inside and high. after they set up on the outside by Zavoli. And the count goes to 1-2. Most runs allowed by Rector in an outing this season is 4. Did it back-to-back outings against Edgewood and Aurora. Last just over 4 innings in each of those. That gets by the second baseman. Jacob would try to scoop it. In the score, Kyle Lebeds. Schroffnagel to third. And the second extended. Head off to E4.
Chris Barnes.
So for Concordia Chicago, that will be their 82nd error on the year as they play in their 39th game, a 94 fielding percentage. Jacob was playing back. He charged the ball with the scoop, and in the score, Kyle Lebets. So a 2-run lead for MSOE. Focus back on Chris Barnes, the 7th batter here in the second. He takes the ball high and away. Barnes would strike out for out number 2 in the first. Swing and a miss. So wicked curve on it. It came up and in on Chris Barnes. More of a defensive swing. Kind of even up at 1-1. Boy, essentially, Rector was a bounce or so away from getting out of this with minimal damage done after the way things started. The way this second began, shaping up to be a very big half inning for MSOE. With all considered trying to minimize the damage to only a couple of runs. So far, 2 are in off with 3 hits with an error. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Barnes fights it off. Off the netting of the backstop on the foul ball. Count stays 1-2. When these teams met back on April 3rd, Concordia Chicago had 5 errors in the 2 games combined, compared to 2 for MSOE. That's a called strike 3. As Rector takes matters into his own hands, he records a second strikeout of Barnes, 4th strikeout through 2. MSOE was able to score, though, a couple of runs off with 3 hits with 1 error. A pair left on. We are through 2. It's 2-0 MSOE. Two nothing MSOE, top of inning number 3, and leading things off for Concordia Chicago is Matthew Uba, the Cougar shortstop. Goes after the first pitch he sees. One shortstop retired by the other as Josh Byer throws out Uba, and so far 7 up and 7 down against Nolan Vincent.
Next to the bat, number 25, Caleb Anderson.
That brings up the third baseman, Caleb Anderson. Back for his junior season out of Plainfield, Illinois. He had 5 pitches for the last 4 games played. Has had success sending the ball up and out of here. He did so game 2 against Concordia, Wisconsin on this very Diamondback on the 24th of April. To second base. Schroffnagel's been busy at second. That's his third put out. 8 up and 8 down. Vincent dealing so far the first 2 2/3. Yeah, so far pitch-wise, about 26 pitches thrown by Vincent. And now Christian Jacob. Goes after the first pitch he sees. Don't blink. Catch made over first base by Chris Barnes, and Concordia Chicago was quickly retired. 1, 2, 3. That's what you love to see of your MSOE. You score a couple of runs, you get back on defense, you quickly quiet Concordia Chicago. Now an opportunity to enhance the lead. Middle of 3, it's 2-0 Raiders. MSOE with a 2-0 lead. Bottom of 3. Coming off a 1-2-3 top of the third that would see 4 pitches thrown. And from Nolan Vincent. Now the offense trying to enhance their lead. First pitch. Micah Overly. Thrown out by Matthew Uba. 1 up and 1 down. We have seen 4 outs in this third off of 5 pitches.
Now batting, number 15, Colin.
It's been a quick third thus far as Colin Truitt trying to slow down the pacing a little bit. He would strike out for number 3 in the first. The Concordia Chicago infield, with the exception of the corner infielders playing back. Well, the first baseman, Brody Mariotti, was and it's starting to drift back a little bit more. Caleb Anderson is up. Now he's going back. They were anticipating a bunt at first. Perhaps want to take advantage of the fact the infield is so far back. Perhaps in the case of Concordia Chicago trying to adjust to the speed of that ball off the turf. 1 ball, 1 strike. Truitt fouls the pitch off him, off himself, and the count goes to 1-2. Truitt trying to bounce back, just 1 hit over the last 4 games he has played in, but he's had some big-time performances. Look at game 1 against Wisconsin Lutheran back on April 23rd. 3 for 4, scored 3 times, had a double, had 2 home runs in that game with 6 RBIs. And then the very next day in game 1 at Illinois Tech, he went 3 for 3, scored 5, had a double, launched 2 home runs, had 5 RBIs. That mindset, that game 1 mindset on back-to-back occasions. Truitt, a sophomore from the land of Lincoln. Pops it back over the grandstand. And the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 down. Bottom of the third. Definitely a change of pace here from Truitt. Count runs full at 3-2. Rector nearing 50 pitches. Really had to work in that second, facing 7. Foul ball. That was a shot, but out of Capco Park. Do the 3-2 all over again. Swing and a miss. And strikeout number 5 recorded by Jack Rector. Second time that Truitt has struck out.
Number 26, Blake Hall.
2 up and 2 down for the left fielder, Blake Hall. He came through with an infield single, stole a base, scored the game's first run, the tournament's first run. Hits now in 6 consecutive and 16 of his previous 17. To second base, playing way back. Jacob, just in time. He was playing in the outfield when he fielded that baseball and was by half a step able to throw the speedy Blake Hall out for out number 3. Raiders retired 1-2-3 through 3, 2-0 MSOE. Nine up and 9 down so far against Nolan Vincent. Back to work after throwing just 4 pitches and recording a 1-2-3. Top of the third. Now top of the fourth, top of the order with Eli Hickman leading things off. On the bunt. Trying to break up the perfect bid. Not to be as Micah Overly making the play to retire Hickman. 1 up and 1 down. A different role here for Nolan Vincent as he continues to pitch for MSOE. In fact, it was a different role last time these teams got together, but look last year. And Nolan Vincent certainly in that rotation as a starter, but against Concordia Chicago on April 3rd, the Cougars saw him in a closing role after Chris Barnes had been the starter. As that game progressed, eventually Vincent came on and he pitched the final couple of innings to preserve a 1-run lead. Earned the save. And we look at numbers, that's his lone save on the year. And for Vincent, ended up throwing 27 pitches in those 2 innings. Little rope to second on the hop. Troffnagel. And so far, 11 up and 11 down to start the game. That's Aiden Donovan, who's retired, and now Michael Zavoli. But when you start breaking down some of the game logs for Nolan Vincent, that save, this game, It all starts to make sense to how he's been able to go the distance on a number of different occasions. Effective and efficient. And a base hit here for Zavoli ends the perfect bid for Nolan Vincent. Two-out single for Zavoli. And it brings up Gary Maynard, the team right fielder. But Vincent just throws strikes. Puts the ball in play, although he's got some great strikeout totals. Getting that ball in play in the defense more times than not, making the plays behind. Quick worker. 1 ball, no strikes. Maynard with a foul ball. He on Monday against Marion, and that doubleheader went 6 for 12, scoring 4 times with a couple of RBIs and a couple of doubles. His last home run came right here, April 24th against Concordia, Wisconsin. 6-4 on the force to end the top of the 4th. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left on. Middle of 4, it stays 2-0. Fourth over Concordia, Chicago. Winner of this game will play again a little bit later on this Thursday. The loser will play in the first elimination game of the tournament, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. 6, 7, 8 due up in the Raiders lineup, beginning with Kyle Lebeds. A bunt single, stole a base, scored the team's second run in that 2-run second. MSOE playing some great ball. When you look at some of the results this season, this team began the year 3-8. They have gone 20-8 since, and of those 8 losses, 2 have come against Division I Milwaukee, including a loss against the Milwaukee Panthers 5-2, a game that was played at American Family Field, formerly Miller Park. That was back on the 27th of April. Got that experience. Ball up high, and it's 3-0 to Lebeds. In conference play, 7 sweeps, 4 splits, only swept once all year. That was by Aurora. On 4 consecutive Lebeds, a leadoff walk. Leadoff man aboard for the second time for MSOE. The first time it happened, it was Blake Hall coming around to eventually score. Of course, we talk about that sweep at the hands of Aurora, 3-1 and 12-2. That was back on April the 16th. Part of a stretch that would see 3 straight losses. MSOE's longest losing streak this season's 5, and that came very early on. Won their first 2 games before dropping 5 straight, and all part of that 3-8 beginning. On the bunt, missed for a ball. Longest winning streak is 4. A chance to match that with a victory in this one. Again, the throw to first with Lebeds. There was activity in the Concordia Chicago bullpen. Mentioned earlier, Rector's pitch count quickly climbing north. He has missed on all 6 pitches so far in this 4th. It's already in the low 60s for his pitch total. Rector's longest outing is 6. Well, he's missed on 7 straight, not even close. In danger of walking the first 2 faced here in this 4th. Eight straight balls to begin the bottom of the 4th. Back-to-back walks. Here comes a mound visit.
Next up to the bat, number 21, Nathan Kennedy.
So back-to-back walks to begin the bottom of the 4th to Kyle Lebeds and Luke Schroffnagel. Entire infield brought in as well with Nathan Kennedy, the MSOE batter. And Rector coming off a 1-2-3 third. So far he's recorded a total of 5 strikeouts. Got himself in trouble in that second. All 3 consecutive infield hits, but able to bounce back and outside of an error, minimizing the damage. One of the 2 runs is unearned. So 2 on with nobody out. Nathan Kennedy had a sacrifice bunt last time up, and figure that's the route MSOE will take this time around as well. Concordia Chicago anticipating the same thing, bringing their corner infield up. He kept the bat over the shoulder, and 9 consecutive balls thrown by Jack Rector. Has yet to throw a strike here in the 4th. Or if I'm Kennedy, I don't help in any way, shape, or form. Keep that bat over the shoulder. Make him come to you. Ten straight balls. MSOE dugout making sure Rector knows a chant of 10-10-10. A very energetic third base MSOE dugout today. Manny has lost all confidence. Not real close either, that's too bad. Pitching well to this point. He's been everywhere but in that strike zone. In danger of walking a 3rd straight on 12 straight pitches. Able to pound that strike zone that time. Hopefully that's the booster he needs, the confidence booster. We did see earlier in this game he fell behind 3 balls to no strikes and bounced back to record a strikeout. That came back in the 1st. He's hoping for more of the same. Bat being flashed, and a foul ball may have gotten a piece of Zavoli. Count runs full at 3-2. First and second, nobody out, a chance to add some insurance. MSOE so far with a couple of runs off of 4 hits. Concordia Chicago, no runs, a hit, 1 error. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Nathan Kennedy. And time was granted. That director, he wasn't ready yet. So holding up play a little bit as Kennedy digs back in. Payoff pitch. Cold strike 3, good bounce back from Jack Rector. Again, falling behind 3 balls to no strikes, but bouncing back to record the K. Now the call to the bullpen being made.
Next up the bat, number 7, Jack.
So a pitching change is coming. Jack Rector is given 1 more hitter. Gets the out, as he's now taken out. Lasting 3 1/3. Now the benefit you have if you're a Concordia Chicago moving forward, and not sure you go this route, but you potentially have the option, if you're able to make this a longer stay than a day or 2, you still have Rector who could potentially give you an inning or 2 somewhere down the road in this tournament format. And that comes into play a little bit too as these coaches approach these games. Watching that pitch count. Rector at about 71. Upon recording his 6th strikeout. So 71 pitches, and Rector is done. Also a couple of walks coming on 8 consecutive pitches to start this 4th. Lasting 3 1/3, and so far has allowed 2 runs, only 1 of which earned. Only 4 hits allowed as well. Not a ton of damage. But again, if Concordia Chicago still chooses down the road, Rector still could probably give you an inning or 2. As you get further and further in this tournament, if you're still alive, trying to string pitching performances together. So Colin Connor going to the bullpen and bringing in Vincent Sartori. And so far for Sartori, he is tied for 2nd in the NACC with 7 victories. All in relief, I might add. He is 7-1 with a 4.06 ERA, this being his 22nd relief appearance. A couple of saves over the course of 37 and 2/3 innings pitched, having allowed 26 runs, 17 earned, 36 hits, 38 strikeouts, 16 walks with an opposing batting average of .243. 6'5", 210, the sophomore right-hander out of Crest Hill, Illinois. He inherits 2 on with 1 out. The batter is Josh Byer. Second time MSOE has faced Sartori. He pitched 1 inning in game 1 of that doubleheader back on April 3rd. No runs, a hit, a couple of strikeouts, a walk among 5 batters faced, throwing 20 pitches in that 1 inning. This was the second time facing Jack Rector as well. He lasted 4 in relief the last time. That was game 2 of that April 3rd doubleheader. Ball bouncing away from Zavoli. Throws to third. Nice recovery, and out at third base is Kyle Lebeds. Michael Zavoli quickly pounced on the loose baseball. Through to third. Anderson able to apply the tag on Lebeds. Schroffnagel now at second base. Count 1 ball and a strike to Byer. He would strike out for number 2 back in the second. Out toward right center, the ball put away by Hickman. That does it for the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a runner left in scoring position. Through 4, score stays 2-0 MSOE.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is number 5.
Now batting, number 8, Brody Mirati.
Top of the 5th inning on this Thursday from Capco Park in Mequon, Wisconsin. Game 1 of the 2022 NACC baseball tournament sees the 3rd-seeded MSOE Raiders on top of the 6th-seeded Concordia Chicago Cougars, 2-0. Brody Mariotti leads things off. He's swinging for the fences and falls behind 0-1. Congrats to Mariotti, who was named 2nd team All-NACC. That announced earlier today, the only Cougar that was named All-Conference. Mariotti to short. Byer rolls him out. Just 1 hit so far for Concordia Chicago. Was a base hit to left by Michael Zavoli in the 4th. Ended a 11 up, 11 down start for Nolan Vincent. Vincent in great shape. He so far he's thrown 38 pitches. That's it. Again, effective, efficient. There's a hit by pitch. That's only the 9th pitch out of the strike zone of the 39 now thrown by Vincent as Kevin Garcia hit by the pitch.
Now batting, number 6, Matthew Uba.
That brings up Uba. Yeah, last year, you're talking about Mariotti being named 2nd team All-Conference. Last year, he was All-NACC South Division. A year that would see Gary Maynard. He was also named to the All-NACC South Division team. Nice bounce back year for Concordia Chicago. Last year they went 11-25. The 11 wins, the fewest for the Cougars since going 11-23 back in 2000. Did not qualify for the NACC South Division tournament after they finished in 6th and last in the South at 4-16. Brought back good number of players from that team. Top 4 hitters, 15 out of 20 who got at-bats. Brought back all 3 all-conference performers. And this team exceeded and so far has exceeded expectations. They were expected again to beat down the outside looking in, but in that 3-way tie for 5th among the 2 teams to earn those final 2 NACC tournament spots. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Uba. To third. Overly throws to second for 1. The relay, not in time. A 5-4 fielder's choice.
Now batting, number 25, Caleb.
2 down for Caleb Anderson. This for the Cougars is their 13th NACC tournament appearance. And if you're wondering, this is NACC tournament number 15. There was no conference tournament in 2020. The 13 appearances, the most among any NACC school. There are 6 titles tied for the most with Aurora. Last year they missed the NACC tournament for the first time since 2010. On the 0-1, Anderson flying out to Blake Hall in left. That does it for the top of the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 left on. Middle of 5. 2-0 MSOE.
Now stepping up to the plate, number 23, Brandon Boshaw.
Bottom of the 5th and a 2-run lead for MSOE in this first game of the 2022 NACC baseball tournament. Fog is lifted quite a bit from when this game started. You can see Lake Michigan now beyond right field. Nice baby blue out and right. And Brandon Bolshaw leads things off for MSOE, and he takes ball 1. It is heating up as well. Temperature expected even here lakeside to be upwards near 80 before all said and done, although right now it stands about 69, which has dropped about 2 or 3 since first pitch. That's inside to Bolshaw from Vincent Sartori. He's back to work for his first full inning. Outside of the breeze, it is gorgeous here lakeside. To second base, Jacob crosses body, throws out Bolshaw. 1 up and 1 down. Happy to have you with us. Our first of 4 here on this Thursday. 4 more scheduled for Friday, and a couple of games Saturday. And if necessary, that's a big if, Game 11 comes your way on Sunday. So 1 down here for Chris Barnes. The if necessary game has become necessary last couple of tournaments here at Capco Park. Going to be some great battles throughout. This MSOE team, as mentioned, playing some of their best baseball here at the right time. Concordia Chicago with their backs against the wall. Already facing a tournament-like format this past week to qualify for the tourney. St. Norbert, a nice addition to the conference in a variety of sports. Oh, we have a tent. A tent flying on the field. Not sure if we can get an angle of it or not. One of our cameras is on it, but apparently the athletic training tent flew. There it is. Luckily nobody got hurt, but I'm not sure anybody screwed the weights on the bottom of it either. It's still early. Got 9 more games to recover. That tent flew over the fence, and nice assist from the MSOE first base coach. And that tent has found its place right back next to the first base dugout. Well, that was exciting. 1 ball and a strike here to Chris Barnes. He takes ball 2. About to say, though, St. Norbert, nice addition. They've played well. You look at their numbers, they don't do anything that jumps off the page great, but they just play good fundamental baseball. They do what it takes to win games. You have Edgewood, who got off to a great start in conference play and able to get into the tournament. Big surprise after they're expected to be near the bottom of the conference this season. They have a lot of experience. And, of course, Aurora and Benedictine, like MSOE, regionally ranked as of May 1st. Aurora top 25 all year, nationally. That foul ball keeps the count 3 balls, 2 strikes to Barnes. MSOE scoring their 2 runs back in the second. RBI infield single by Luke Schroffnagel plus an error, allowing a second run to score later in that second. Out to left center, and Chris Barnes, you can see this one hop off the fence. 1 out double. And there's the first extra base hit of the day. Chris Barnes now with hits in his last 7 consecutive games. And Barnes delivered his 15th double. That is tops on the team. Brings up the third baseman, Micah Overly. He already has extended his hitting streak to 6 games, now looking to make it 6 straight multi-hit performances. He has gone 12 for 22 over the last 5 games coming into today. A couple of doubles, couple of RBIs, 11 runs scored. And strike 1 delivered from Sartori. Final line on Jack Rector. He lasted 3 1/3, allowing 2 runs, 1 earned, 4 hits, 6 strikeouts, couple of walks through 71 pitches. Missed low and outside, and the count is even at 1-1. Overly looking for his 20th multi-hit performance. He has 5 hits in the game this season. Again playing back with Jacob. In time, to third base goes Barnes. 2 down. That's something that's jumped out to me in watching. We mentioned this earlier with Concordia Chicago. Their infield plays back. And in particular, at second base, Christian Jacob playing way back. He right now is a couple of steps in right center. He had the 1 error that led to the second MSOE run. He was charging the ball. Number of putouts, though, 2 in this game. Tapper, that's going to bounce and roll foul. The way this game has gone, would not have surprised me if that one would have stayed fair and been a base hit. MSOE already in this game. Actually, they have 5 hits. The first 3, at least the 3 that they had in the second, all of the infield variety. 4 singles and a double. The breakdown of their hits so far in this first game. No balls, 1 strike. Count even at 1-1. So far, 4 have been left on base for the Raiders. They have had a couple of opportunities to enhance this lead. Not been able to do so. Left to run at third base in the second. Runner at second base in the fourth. That was a promising start to that fourth after back-to-back walks to start things off with 8 straight balls to the first 2 batters. Swing and a miss. And Colin Truitt strikes out for the 3rd time in 3 plate appearances. So Chris Barnes left 90 feet away. We are through 5 on this Thursday morning. It's 2-0 MS.
Now batting number 2, Luke Schrocknagel.
Top of the 6th inning and a 2-run lead for MSOE, the 3rd seed over the 6th seeded Concordia Chicago Cougars. Christian Jacob will lead things off for Concordia Chicago. First pitch, he fouls off. It is Jacob, Hickman, and Donovan. 3 due up for the Cougars. Tapper, foul third base side. MSOE trying to beat Concordia Chicago for a 3rd consecutive meeting after 12 straight losses. Trying to beat them for the first time in 4 tries here at Capco Park in a NACC tournament setting. Again, the winner of this game will play later on today. Loser of this game will call it a Thursday and play in the first elimination game tomorrow morning. The 0-2 becomes a ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, first 3 games tomorrow, knocking half the tournament field out. 3 straight elimination games. Everybody survives day 1, but day 2, not so friendly anymore. Starts to get serious, and then you get championship, potentially championship Saturday. This Concordia Chicago team knows a thing or two about long stays here in Mequon, Wisconsin. Many successful trips here to the Concordia, Wisconsin campus. There's a call, strike 3. And Christian Jacob, out number 1, and strikeout number 2 for Nolan Vincent.
Now batting number 19, Eli Hickman.
The way the format used to be, the number 1 seed would play that first game and then move on to day 2 and move on to day 3, just bing, bang, boom, win a couple of games. And that was the shortcut route to a tournament championship. So this program certainly no strangers to playing in this 10 o'clock time slot. Only the difference is having to back their way into the tournament field this time around. But they're here, and that's step 1. Look at the breakdown of their success in conference play. And As they continue to battle here at Capco Park in conference competition, 3 sweeps, 6 splits, swept 3 times. They began 1-6 in the conference, but able to go 11-6 in their final 17 NACC games to lay claim to that final NACC tournament spot. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Hickman. Longest win streak 4 for the Cougars, longest losing streak 3. Base hit down the first base right field line. Eli Hickman into second base. The second Concordia Chicago hit is a double.
Now batting number 5, Aiden Donovan.
And Eli Hickman now with hits in 5 of his last 7 games. A 1-out double brings up Aiden Donovan. And for Hickman, able to come through with his 5th double of the year. So third, Overly looks the runner back to second before the adjustment made at first base by Chris Barnes coming across the first base bag to retire Aiden Donovan.
Now batting number 1, Michael.
2 down for
Zavoli.
Michael Zavoli. This Cougar team trying to find that offense that erupted as the games progressed on Monday. Told you earlier, when you look at some of their rankings, though, near the bottom or at the bottom of the conference in a number of offensive totals. Their pitching's been on, ranked 5th in the conference. You look at team ERA, a foul ball after Blake Hall went flying into the fence near the bullpen. A Concordia Chicago team that's very aggressive when it comes to base stealing, tops in the conference in steals. 2nd in home runs. But then again, 13th in batting average, 10th in runs, 10th in hits, 7th in extra base hits. They've also gone into the most double plays of anybody in the league. Zavoli falls behind 0-2. Hickman at second base. First base runner beyond first so far today for the Cougars. And the pitch from Vincent. And a foul ball by Zavoli, and again, got a piece of himself. Right now for Vincent, in the neighborhood of 58 pitches. He's almost 6 innings through. You're seeing why, as we mentioned earlier, he's been able to record back-to-back 9-inning complete games. Complete games in 3 out of the last 4. His pitch totals in those outings have not been all that ridiculous. Upstairs for ball 1. Vincent retiring the first 11 batters faced to start this game, which included a 1-2-3-4 pitch 3rd inning. Faced 4 in the 4th, 4 in the 5th, and now a 4th here in the 6th. Gets strike 3 on the call during the at-bat for Zavoli. So a couple of Ks in that inning for Vincent. He has 3 for the contest. Middle of 6. Score stays 2-0 MSOE. Bottom of the 6th inning and a 2-run lead for MSOE.
Now batting, number 26,
Blake Hall leads things off for the Raiders. They scored their 2 runs back in the 2nd off an RBI single by Luke Schroffnagel. That was a big deal because Schroffnagel, again, playing just his 14th game, making his 5th start, recording his 2nd RBI of the year. The other run coming off an E4 as opposed to a 3rd out, allowing Kyle Lebeds to touch home. Hall 1 for 2 at the plate. He falls behind 0-1. Looking for his 18th multi-hit performance. He, like most Raiders, had a great doubleheader against St. Norbert this past weekend. Mentioned the scores of those 2 games. Sends a fly ball to right and deep and over the reach of Maynard. To second base goes Hall. He'll put the brakes on after a wide turn. He has himself a 2-hit day for his 18th multi-hit performance of the year.
Next up the bat, number 4, Kyle Lebeds.
Blake Hall with his 11th double. And leadoff man aboard for the 3rd time now in 6 innings for the Raiders. Bringing up Kyle Lebeds. Yeah, Blake Hall in that doubleheader against the Green Knights on Saturday would go 6 for 7 with 2 doubles, 5 RBIs, and scored 6 times. The first game was 21-3 in 7. MSOE scored every inning that they played. With a high of 6, they scored 6 times in the bottom of the 6th. 21 runs, 16 hits. And then game 2, they won 14-2 in 7, scoring in each of the first 3 innings. That's going to get down for a base hit, and it hops over the reach of Aiden Donovan. Blake Hall able to score, and Kyle Lebeds will stop at second. 3-0 MSOE. RBI double for Lebeds.
Number 2, Luke Schroffnagel.
As Donovan was incoming, that just took an enormous hop over his reach. Lebeds now with 9 doubles and now 30 runs batted in. He is the 4th Raider with 30-plus ribbies on the year. So back-to-back doubles to start this 6th inning. Schroffnagel. Look at a bunt. And a beauty third base side. Nobody covering third. Only play will be to first. Sliding over Christian Jacob to field the throw from Anderson. 5-4 on the sacrifice bunt.
Now batting, number 21,
Lebeds now 90 feet away. One down for Nathan Kennedy. Three-run lead for MSOE. Small ball has worked MSOE's advantage so far. A couple of successful sacrifice bunts. Kennedy had one of those sacrifice bunts back in the 2nd. Infield in for the Cougars. Inside here to Kennedy, who would also strike out for first out in the 4th inning. Kennedy, a freshman from Oswego, Illinois, among 8 freshmen on this MSOE roster. They brought back 6 out of their top 7 hitters. 15 out of 19 with at-bats. And they brought back 7 of 14 pitchers used last year during what was an 18-16 season. Fell just shy of a NACC North Division Tournament Championship. Gets by Zavoli, but he's able to quickly turn and locate it. That keeps Lebeds 90 feet away. It's 3 balls and no strikes to Kennedy. Infield up for the Cougars. Has stayed up. Count goes to 3-1. Swing and a miss, count runs full, and we've seen this a few times. We saw it with Jack Rector. He fell behind 3 balls to no strikes, only to bounce back, and now Vincent Sartori looking to follow the same script. Battling back here, count full on Kennedy, trying to avoid that second strikeout. On the ground, that gets by the charging Anderson, trickles in the left field. Labed's able to score. It's now 4-0 MSOE. Tough break with the infield in for the Cougars. E5. So a couple of errors now against the Cougars that allowed a couple of runs to score. Infield back at regular depth as Josh Byer in the batter's box. Still just 1 down. And a foul ball is going to find its way down the left field line and off the fencing near the right now empty MSOE bullpen. Not sure that bullpen's going to be needed at all, at least not in this game, the way that, at least so far, Nolan Vincent's been pitching the way he's been pitching all year. Looking for a 3rd consecutive non-inning complete game and a 4th in the last 5 tries. Certainly has the run support now at 4-0. And both Blake Hall and Kyle Labette each scoring twice so far. Same portion of the order doing the damage, the bottom half, at least in this game for the Raiders. Nothing in 1 the count. Can that focus on Kennedy over at first? Going low and inside, and Byer off a swing and miss. The 0-2 to third down the line, and a fair ball. Kennedy will get the third on the slide. A double for Josh Byer. 3rd double of the inning. Where is it? 2nd and 3rd. And still just 1 down.
Next at the bat,
with the call to the bullpen being made by Concordia Chicago. Want to avoid this one getting way out of hand, and a pitching change coming. So Sartori lasting a couple of innings and so far has allowed a couple of runs. With a strikeout, no walks. 32 pitches thrown.
Welcome to the mound for the Cougars, Mike Tobin.
And besides the couple of runs, so far it's allowed 4 hits. 8 in all so far for MSOE, and the last 4 hits for the Raiders have been doubles. 3 in this inning, 1 back in the 5th. So the pitching change here. Senior pitcher Mike Tobin is on in relief. Tobin, a 5', 182-pound senior right-hander out of Hickory Hills, Illinois. And so far, Tobin, 0-1. This being his 16th appearance, all in relief as a 4.60 ERA. 4 saves, tied for 4th in the conference. He has thrown 15 and 2/3 innings, having allowed 10 runs, 8 earned, 18 hits, 22 strikeouts, 4 walks, and an opposing batting average of 286. The third pitcher used by Concordia Chicago. Yeah, the roster we have on paper says 5 foot. That wasn't right. Didn't think that was right. He's 5'10". That makes more sense. About to say at 5 foot he makes Muggsy Bogues look like a giant. So Tobin is on. He pitched an inning against Marion on Monday. Top of the order here for MSOE. Infield in again for the Cougars and a swing and a miss by Brandon Beauchamp. Would fly out, reach on an E4, which allowed a run to score. Also grounded out to second base. MSOE out hitting the Cougars 8-2. The last 5 hits we've seen of this game combined have been doubles. On the 1-1, that's going to find right center. Kennedy scoring, Byer not far behind, and the book is now closed on Vincent Sartori. A 2 RBI single for Brandon Beauchamp.
Now batting, number 8, Chris Barnes.
His hitting streak now at 14 consecutive games. 6-0 MSOE. Brings up Chris Barnes, the 7th batter in this 6th inning. He watches strike 1. So Vincent Sartori, a couple of innings pitched, allowing 4 runs, 4 hits, 1 strikeout, no walks, with 32 pitches. And back to first, Beauchamp. Leads the team with 12 steals, 15 tries. To first, to second for the force. So Brody Mariotti over to Uba.
Number 28.
And 3-6 on that fielder's choice. Retires Beauchamp. 2 down. Brings up Micah Overly, who was 1 for 3 at the plate. His lone hit coming in his first plate appearance, a base hit. He was left at first. Blown away for a ball. Four already in this inning alone. 4 runs off of 4 hits with 1 error, and right now the lone base runner is Barnes at first base. Nasty off-speed, swing and a miss. The 1-1 from Tobin. Missed low and away. Count goes to 2 balls, 1 strike. With Colin Truitt, he's on deck. If he were to step to the plate this inning, he'd be the 9th to come to the plate here in this 6th inning. 1 time through the order. To center, hangs long enough. Hickman on the catch, keeping Truitt in the on-deck circle. Damage done as MSOE scores 4 runs. They pick up 4 hits, 1 error, 1 left on. It's the end of 6. 6-0 in favor of the Raiders. Top of the 7th. Gary Maynard leads things off for the Cougars. They're down 6-0. Lengthy break for Nolan Vincent. After 8 came to the plate, 4 coming across to score for MSOE in the home half of the 6th. Two balls and no strikes. Nolan Vincent, 6 innings, 63 pitches, no runs, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts, no walks, 1 hit batter. Count goes to 2-1. Raider fans know it, again, especially when you look at the last month or so, this is a typical stat line for Vincent. Well struck down the left field line, and that will curve foul. Not by much. Boy, that didn't even seem like a full swing either. Well, that one, the way he swung it, but when that came off the bat, had some carry. Now, most runs allowed by Vincent in a game this season, at least earned, is 3. Most overall he's allowed is 5, which came against Edgewood in what was still an 8-5 victory for the Raiders. Edgewood will be featured in our second game. That's a 1 o'clock scheduled first pitch between the Edgewood College Eagles and the St. Norbert College Green Knights. You love baseball? Stay right here. We'll be with you all day long for 4 scheduled games. And again, the winner of this game will play later on today. If MSOE hangs on, they will play at approximately 4 o'clock versus Benedictine. If Concordia Chicago plays comeback, they will play the nightcap against Aurora. Foul territory, plenty of room, battling the wind, catch made. Chris Barnes retires Maynard. One down for Brody Mariotti. We often talk about it when covering a game here at Capco Park. That's the one aspect of this ballpark that certainly stands out. Lots and lots of room in and around the backstop area. Can't give up on a ball. Floats over for a strike. And the count is even at 1-1. Last year, Mariotti was a .373 hitter. Second of the conference with 13 home runs and 48 runs batted in. Skies it. Shallow center. And it's off the glove of Brandon Bosaw, who called off the second baseman, Luke Schroffnagel, and said he's got it. He does not. And Mariotti is going to reach first base safely.
Now batting, number 21, Kevin Garcia.
And that is an E8. Yeah, Bosaw just about to give him credit for the great communication. He was yelling, I got it, to call off Luke Schroffnagel, and then off his glove goes the baseball. See if Concordia Chicago can take advantage. Kevin Garcia, foul territory, and out of real estate for Blake Hall. Down the left field side, the Green Knights of St. Norbert College are gathering. After many years in the Midwest Conference, their first NACC tournament. If you include, and technically I guess if you look at the record book it counts, if you include last year's appearance in the NACC North Division tournament by Lakeland, every team now, which includes St. Norbert with today, has experienced the NACC baseball tournament at least once. And now the 15th edition. Lakeland had been the last team going into last season, and they were able to find their way here to Capco Park for the North Division portion of the tourney. That was a tournament that Concordia, Wisconsin would knock off MSOE to win, and then faced Aurora, who won the South Division tournament It was a best of 3. Aurora with a 2-game sweep. Ended here at Capco Park. Overly cannot recover after he went back in the ball. First and second with 1 down. So right now, Concordia Chicago finding ways on. Having to go back on the ball is going to be a hit here for Kevin Garcia. And for the first time, the Cougars had multiple runners on simultaneously. First and second, 1 down for Uba. A ground out and ground into a fielder's choice. Last plate appearance. Third time through the lineup. Some of these hitters trying to make adjustments here against Nolan Vincent. Up to 77 pitches. 1 ball, 1 strike. Still 8 outs to work with if you're Concordia Chicago trying to chip away at this 6-run deficit. Some would say if you're a Concordia Chicago fan, they have MSOE just where they want them. Look at Monday against Marion. Out to left, will this ball carry? Well, it carries into the glove of Blake Hall, who's a couple of steps from the wall. A loud second out for Matthew Uba brings up Caleb Anderson.
Now batting, number 25, Caleb Anderson.
Note for Concordia Chicago running at first base is Carter Gledhill, the junior out of Arlington Heights, Illinois, running in place of Kevin Garcia. You look back on Monday, and the game progressed, able to overcome 6-0 and 8-1 deficits in Game 1. Down 3 runs in Game 2. Anderson out, drifting toward left center. Bolshaw on the catch. Wouldn't come into play here as we move along. No runs, a hit, an error, a pair left on. Now it's the 7th inning stretch here at Capco Park, and a 6-0 lead for MSOE.
Pinch hitting for the Raiders, number 31.
Bottom of the 7th inning, 1 defensive change for Concordia Chicago sees Tyler Crater, freshman from Phoenix, Arizona, is playing third base, now in place of Caleb Anderson. That appears to be the lone change. Well, maybe not. Let's see. And for Concordia Chicago. New catcher as well. And so now catching is Colton Wallace. So he is beyond the dish in place of Michael Zavoli. And we have a pinch hitter for MSOE. So leading things off here in the bottom of the seventh will be Francis Ryan, a freshman from Joliet, Illinois. This being his 19th game, 10th off the bench, hitting .273, 9 for 33 with 7 runs batted in. Your watch is strike one. MSOE scoring twice in the second, 4 times in the 6th inning, sending 8 to the plate. Ryan lives at the center. This ball's carrying and now slowing down. The catch made by Eli Hickman. And all of a sudden, it seems like anything up in the air is carrying further and further to the outfield.
Number 26.
Wind's been with us throughout. It just seems like, for whatever reason, that ball's getting caught up in that jet stream and becoming an adventure out there for the outfield. Never a dull moment here Lakeside. Never a quiet moment when it comes to Mother Nature. And again, today so far, no exception. Fog to start. That's since lifted, creating a gorgeous almost afternoon here Lakeside. But that wind continuing to whip. Blake Hall with a foul ball. That will find its way toward the soccer lacrosse venue here. Hall 2 for 3. Off the end of the bat. Looper, and that's going to drop for a base hit. A 3-hit performance for Blake Hall. He's picked up where he left off on Saturday now with 9 hits. 9 hits over his last 11 at-bats. Here's Kyle Lebeds. He's gone 2 for 2 with a walk. Sweet 2 has been a very tough foul to throw towards the first, and back is Blake Hall. And back to first goes Hall. So Mike Tobin looking to keep him close. Hall already with 1 successful steal again is able to get back into the first base bag. As the fans get restless here at Capco Park. Runner goes. Nice throw, but not in time. After Colton Wallace is brought in by Uba, trying to come across to apply that tag, and Hawley will get that foot into the second base back for his second successful steal. So he's 2 for 2 in this game. 9th steal on the season. Focus back on Lebeds. So trying to keep Hall close at first on a series of throws over, and eventually takes off nonetheless. Third pitcher for Concordia Chicago game that would see Jack Rector get the start. Rector came in with a team best 3.05 ERA. Lasted 3 1/3. Taken out of the game after throwing 71 pitches. Vincent Sartori came on to pitch a couple, and it's been Tobin since. 2 balls and a strike to Lebeds. He is the 6th batter that Mike Tobin has faced so far in this one. The 2-1. And that is off the netting of the backstop, counted even at 2-2. MSOE making their 5th NACC tournament appearance. 10 victories, 8 defeats. Their all-time NACC tournament record. Their best finish, they lost in a NACC tournament championship to Concordia Chicago in 2016. Heck of a run that year by MSOE, number 5 seed. They had 4 wins by 2 runs or less, a number of comebacks throughout that journey. That was a big turnaround year, too, as MSOE went from winning 9 games in 2015 up to 24 wins in 2016. And now they found themselves this year, fast forward now 6 more years, and they're 2 wins away from tying the program record for wins of the season of 25 set back in 2018. This team has really turned things around, and the culture has been changed under Coach Sanfilippo. And now 6 20-plus win seasons, 4 of those have come since 2016. Payoff pitch, Lebeds, Hickman on the catch, tagging from second is Hall. He'll advance to third, 2 down. A program that dates back to 1974, and MSOE had a couple of 20-win seasons back in 1980-81, but nothing again until 2016. Two down here for Luke Schroffnagel. Making the most of a rare start with his 2nd RBI of the year, coming back in the 2nd. Count goes to 0-2. From a pitching standpoint, again, so far Nolan Vincent got himself in a little bit of trouble in that 7th, but that's been it as he looks to shut the Cougars out. They've only been shut out 1 time this season. MSOE's recorded 4 shutouts. That ball's going to get by the reach of Wallace. Hall in to score. 7-0 MSOE. So a wild pitch. Scoring Blake Hall. He scored for the 3rd time today. He has scored 38 times on the year, which is good for 3rd best on the team behind Overly and Beauchamp. The 2-2, swing and a miss. Schroffnagel striking out for out number 3, but another run coming in to score. MSOE now leads 7-0 after 7. Top of the 8th upon us. 7-0 MSOE in this first game of the 2022 NACC baseball tournament. Raiders scoring twice in the second, 4 times in the 6th, adding 1 more in their half of inning number 7. Ball 1 here to Christian Jacob. He's up first, followed by Hickman and Donovan. So far, Concordia Chicago has been limited to 3 hits. Their first coming in the 4th after the first 11 seeded by Vincent. Faced 5 in the 7th. First time Concordia Chicago has had multiple runners on simultaneously. A game that has seen Concordia Chicago strand 5 on base so far. And of those 5, 2 left in scoring position. Good start here for the Cougars. Jacob with a base hit. Leadoff man aboard for the first time in this game for the Cougars.
Now batting, number 19, Eli.
And now turn it back up to the top of the order. And Eli Hickman, he's 1 for 3 at a double up at second base in the 6th inning. So Jacob coming through now has hits in 7 of his last 8 games. Stays put over at first base, and ball 1 delivered here to Hickman. I think right now MSOE sending the message, in Nolan Vincent we trust. There's not a soul wearing red anywhere near that bullpen. And he is no stranger to going the distance. Seems like that is the game plan here. He's at 83 pitches. He's in great shape in that department. Boy, what an advantage, what a luxury that would be. You get a first NACC tournament victory, not using the bullpen, not once. It sets you up nicely, moving ahead. At some point, we'll see Tyler Groner. He's put together some great numbers and certainly was right there in the conversation for NACC Pitcher of the Year. 9 wins, tops in the conference, 3rd best ERA at 2.20. He pitched all 7 on Saturday in Game 1 against St. Norbert. And I think right now the thought is if you get by Concordia Chicago, perhaps you go that route against Benedictine. We'll see.
Number 5, Aiden Donovan.
Got a couple of different options. Right now, step 1 is getting through this one, and seeing if Vincent can avoid the bullpen being necessary. Time was called, so that was not a pitch. And all of a sudden, after that walk, there is life in the MSOE bullpen. A couple of players getting down there just in case. Missed off the plate. Aiden Donovan is 0 for 3 with 3 ground outs. The Concordia Chicago bullpen is active, and now officially the Raider bullpen with activity. Talked about Vincent being effective and efficient. He has slowed down in the last couple of innings. He was working fast. That ball is in play quite a bit. Although to the Cougars' credit, too, they've been a lot more selective and patient at that plate. Certainly making Nolan Vincent work. Two and 1 the count. Swing and a miss. And the count even at 2-2. On deck, the catcher, Colton Wallace. He came in last half inning defensively. Nice stop made by Kennedy. Count runs full at 3 and 2. What a spot to be in. A chance to load the bases, about to get to the meat of your lineup when you look at some offensive totals in this comeback bid. A called strike 3. That came in on Donovan. And a strikeout of Donovan. The first out here in the 8th. And for Vincent,
number 30, Coleman Wallace.
Should be his 4th strikeout. And it is. As Wallace bats for the first time. He sees strike 1. Wallace hitting .254, coming off the bench for the 5th time this season. 16 of 63 with 4 home runs, 11 runs batted in. A little more pop in his bat in comparison. You look at some of the bigger numbers, the home run totals, the extra base hits, in comparison to Zavoli. Although Zavoli came in with a batting average around .322. The 0-2, Wallace tries to hold up and does. One ball, 2 strikes. Getting late here at Capco Park in Game 1. On the ground and foul. That's for the active MSOE bullpen. Man, it has turned out to be a gorgeous early afternoon here in Mech 1. A little bit of haze, but not a cloud in the sky. The 1-2. And a foul ball, keeping the count 1-2. Concordia Chicago, 5 hits. We'll double check that. There's a base hit. Wallace is going to score. Jacob, and back to second base goes Hickman. Wallace with an RBI single, able to fight off.
Now to bat, number 17.
Couple of pitches, a heck of a battle. Won by the Concordia Chicago catcher. So now it's 5 hits. That for Concordia Chicago. So now 5 hits for Concordia Chicago. As a grounder to third, this could be 2. A 5-3 double play turned by Micah Overly during that at-bat for Gary Maynard. Concordia Chicago came in, running into the most double plays of anybody in the conference. Bad timing for that DP. Moves his game to the bottom of the 8th. 7-1. 25, a junior lefty out of Lockport, Illinois. Kerr, 1 victory and 4 defeats. This will be his 13th appearance, all in relief. Has a 5.17 ERA, has thrown 15 and 2/3 innings, having allowed 14 runs, 9 earned, 16 hits, 7 strikeouts, 7 walks, an opposing batting average of .258. He'll face the 8-9 one-hitters in the MSOE lineup. MSOE right now enjoying the 6-run lead in this NACC baseball tournament opener. Defensively, MSOE 3 outs away from setting themselves up for a 4 o'clock matchup with Benedictine, which would then mean the winner of our second game will face Aurora in the nightcap. Both Edgewood and St. Norbert waiting patiently down their respective lines, ready to overtake their dugouts. Count even a 1-ball, 1 strike to Kennedy. That's a 4-5 matchup between St. Norbert and Edgewood coming up. St. Norbert won both meetings over Edgewood during the regular season. Here MSOE is trying to beat Concordia Chicago for a 3rd time in 3 tries here this spring. That would put Concordia Chicago in the elimination game against the loser of our next game at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Three balls, 1 strike. And the count runs full at 3-2. So 4 pitchers used by Concordia Chicago. Rector went 3 1/3. Sartori went 2. Tobin 1 2/3. That's ball 4. Final line on Tobin. 1 2/3, allowing a run, 2 hits.
Now batting, number 7, Josh
1 strikeout,
Fire.
no walks. 26 pitches. Here's Josh Byer. He's 1 for 3. A strikeout, a flyout, and a double. He scored a run in the 6th inning. There's certainly been a confidence. This MSOE team driving themselves here to the Mequon campus. Most of the team was here by about 7:30 this morning. Starting to stretch and get ready for this matchup. The confidence about this Raiders squad coming in. Without Concordia, Wisconsin here, it's almost like they become the now designated home team, the closest as far as travel goes among the 6 teams to qualify for this tourney. A lot of chatter coming out of that dugout earlier, more of a festive atmosphere. Bats coming alive, various points, taking advantage of a couple of miscues. That coupled with the pitching of Nolan Vincent, it's been a recipe for success so far today. See if that carries through. If they are to win and play Benedictine later, they split with the Eagles back on April 10th. One of the 4 conference splits this season for MSOE. Nothing in 2. And Byer fouls it off his leg. He's all right. His coach checking on him to make sure. His coach, Steve Sanfilippo, also a shortstop like Byer during his college days. Played his college ball at Central Michigan and then later at Milwaukee. A ball and 2 strikes. Looking ahead of the 9th inning, Last chance for Concordia Chicago. They will send their 5, 6, and 7 to the plate. Mariotti, Garcia, and Uba. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nothing coming easy or fast for Chandler Kerr. To third. Looking to recover. Unable to do so, Crater. He came in a couple of innings ago to play third base.
Next up to the plate, number
That will be the third error. The third error against Concordia Chicago. E5. First and second with nobody out off the third Concordia Chicago error. And now Brandon Beauchamp. He has 1 hit to his credit. He's been on base, though, a couple of times. He reached at one point off an error. Ball up high. Well, that batted ball by Byer, a double play ran all over it, and instead the Cougars come up empty. Count even at 1-1. Kennedy at second base. 3 outs to work with. The 1-1. That's taken for ball 2. Beauchamp gives this one a ride. And that's going to one-hop over the fence for a ground rule double. An RBI ground rule double that scores Nathan Kennedy. And Beauchamp now with 3 RBIs on the day.
Number 8, Chris Barnes.
So Byer to third. Nobody out. And now Chris Barnes. (8-1) MSOE. Infield in for Concordia Chicago. Note that if Chris Barnes were to hit a home run, this game would be over by way of the 10-run rule, which now comes into potential play. Take that for what it's worth. Count even at 1-1, but that's the spot MSOE has put themselves now in. A chance to end this one an inning early and perhaps give Nolan Vincent that complete game after all. A walk, an error, and a ground rule double, the story of this 8th inning. The 1-1 floats in there for a strike, and the count goes to 1-2. Byer at third, Beauchamp at second base. A 2-hit performance now for Beauchamp. His 21st multi-hit game. 2-2. Things have slowed down dramatically since getting into the bullpen. MSOE with some quality half innings. Stays 2-2. Raiders have scored at least 8 runs each of the last 3 innings. to first. Only player will be to first. Thinking a couple different times about it. Moriarty. Could hear somebody down there going, no, 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 no. Just get the out. Don't make things harder than they need to be. And Byer, he started to make his way up the third base line, but ended up going back to third base anyways. So one down. And for Micah Overly. Yeah, don't overthink it. Just get the out. In an inning that already has seen one error. 3 so far against the Cougars defense. Stop made again by Colton Wallace. A ball and no strikes to Micah Overly. Again, the infield up for Concordia Chicago. And the 1-0 from Kerr. This is high in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. 5th batter in this 8th. Overly 1 for 4 at the plate. And then Francis Ryan, who came on, taking over the DH role from Colin Truitt. Can't get a piece of it, just enough of it that Wallace keep that ball in front of him. Thrown into the turf by Kerr. 3-0. Taking all the way, count goes to 3-1. So far, 1 run off a hit with 1 error. Also benefiting from a leadoff walk. Have the Raiders here in this 8th inning. Leadoff man's been aboard 4 times in the first 8 for MSOE. Leadoff man's come around to score when reaching in 3 of those 4 instances. Bases loaded for Francis Ryan. And we have a pinch hitter. Let's see. No, it's going to be Ryan indeed. But we also have a mound visit. So Ryan will in fact stay out there with Blake Hall on deck. Ryan is 0 for 1. He flew out to center his lone plate appearance so far. Flew out to center first out in the 7th. And a couple of big innings so far for MSOE. They only scored twice, but sent 7 to the plate back in the 2nd. Broke the game open with a 4-run 6th, sending 8 to the plate. 6th batter here in the 8th. Ryan, swing and a miss. Just missed off the plate in the count, even at 1-1. That's kind of been the issue so far, at least in this 8th for Chandler Kerr. Though he's even right now, 1 ball, 1 strike, but having to battle back time and time again. And now he's behind 2 balls to a strike. No place to put Ryan. A situation now where, again, if you're Concordia Chicago trying to get this game to the 9th. MSOE, though, with a chance to end this one half an inning early. A run closer, up 9-1. Josh Byer will score for the 2nd time off the base-loaded walk. 3rd walk allowed by Kerr. There is activity in the Concordia Chicago bullpen.
Now number 26, Blake Hall.
And now a base hit ends it, potentially. A 2-run score, that being Beauchamp at third and Overly at second base. Wallace will come out to chat with Kerr. Edgewood, St. Norbert on the horizon. That game scheduled to start sometime around 1 o'clock, will be probably slightly delayed. No built-in buffer between games. Here's Blake Hall. 3 for 4. And a stop made by Wallace. Hall to short, and a 6-4-3. Oh no, it's a fielder's choice. Late throw on the relay. Beauchamp able to score. Overly to third as Ryan erased from the bases. 10-1. MSOE on the fielder's choice. Brings up Kyle Lebeds. A chance to end it with a base hit. Overly 90 feet away with Hall over at first. Lebed's the 8th batter here in this 8th. And back to first base goes Hall. Ball and no strikes. Been a tough one inning for Chandler Kerr in relief of Mike Tobin. Just trying to find that strike zone consistently. In reality, should be out of this inning by now, but an error aiding MSOE. 2 batters in. And back to first base goes Blake Hall. Concordia Chicago trying to avoid the 10-run rule being put into place. Something they have been able to utilize many times on this field to the opposition. Rarely have they been on the receiving end. But in danger here with Overly at third base. 2 balls, 1 strike. That misses low for a ball, and the count goes to 3-1. Three and 2. As mentioned, this game gets to the 9th. 5, 6, 7 portion of the order for Concordia Chicago. They've been limited to 5 hits so far. Another foul ball. I will venture to guess, come early next week, some of these foul balls will be resting under the bleachers, press box area, over by the soccer lacrosse venue. Every now and then you get a couple of loose baseballs that are lost from previous weekend college doubleheaders. Lebed strikes out. This game moves to the
Now batting, number 8, Brody Mariotti.
Top of the 9th inning upon us, and Nolan Vincent looking for his 4th complete game. 105 pitches thrown as he faces Brody Mariotti. First pitch, and a base hit left field. Reaching base for the second time. First time by way of a hit. Hit number 6 for Concordia Chicago.
Now batting, number 21, Kevin Garcia.
That brings up Kevin Garcia, the DH. And check that. It's going to be Carter Gledhill, who was running in place of Garcia back in the 7th inning. So he took over that DH spot. Gledhill, 10th game, 8th off the bench, hitting .235 at 4-17 with a home run and 3 runs batted in. One ball, one strike. MSOE with 10 runs, 11 hits, 1 error, 8 left on base. Concordia Chicago with so far a run, 6 hits with 3 errors. Depending on what happens here, upwards of 7 left on base. A looper. That's put away by Byer. Gledhill is out number 1. And it brings up Uba. When this one goes final, MSOE will be 24-16. 1 win shy of tying their program record for wins in a season. Will be their 4th win to match their longest winning streak of the year. They also won 4 straight between April 23rd and 24th with sweeps of Wisconsin Lutheran and Illinois Tech. They won 4 straight with 1 over Rockford, 2 here against Concordia, Wisconsin, 1 against Benedictine back in early April. And a 4-game winning streak in late March, early April as well, which included 2 wins against Concordia Chicago. So it would be their 4th 4-game win streak of the year. 6-4-3, game-ending double play going into by Uba, and that's it here for game 1. So a victory for MSOE moves them into the 4 o'clock matchup against Benedictine. Concordia Chicago will be in the first elimination game tomorrow at 10 a.m. A complete game victory for Nolan Vincent, ups his record to 6-2. Loss goes to Jack Rector. He falls to 1-2 as Concordia Chicago falls to 19-20 on the year. MSOE has now beaten Concordia Chicago in 3 straight meetings here this season. Stay tuned. Coming up a little bit after 1 o'clock, our second game of the